In this video, we will examine some characteristics of experts and expertise as they are discussed in the scientific literature. Out of an original work that was also published in a Springer journal, I have identified the characteristics of experts and expertise across domains. Now, it is exactly the job of the distal method to develop and acquire these characteristics, and by describing them, one does not automatically get them. The reason these characteristics are presented here are for context and clarity. We want to be as clear as possible as to what we are developing. It is what you or your clients want to become, because it is very different to just say, I want to be an expert, and to really know what that means. Experts not only know more than non-experts, but they also know differently. This is because they have advanced some or many of the approximately 30 basic perceptual motor abilities into expert skills. The list of such abilities include from figure dexterity and aiming to explosive strength and balance. For more, find the attached PDF in the resources section. Apart from abilities, two more recurring themes in expertise studies are intelligence and creativity, as well as their interrelation. There are at least three major intelligence theories. Carroll's three-stratum theory of cognitive abilities, that is based on the notion of the existence of a general intelligence, more or less what we measure with the IQ, the intelligence quotient. Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, which is somewhat more holistic, taking into consideration musical, spatial, and intrapersonal intelligences, among others. Finally, Robert Sternberg, with his triarchic theory of successful intelligence, tries to tell us that what we call intelligence should also be connected with our adaptability, with our skills to adapt. These theories apply to everybody. In expertise, we try to consider these theories, trying to see how experts balance between specificity and creativity, two opposing but equally important concepts. One has to be able to discover new answers and produce new works, but also to be consistent in their performance when it is needed. A basketball player must be able to perform consistently when executing shots, while they must have the creativity to think new tactics to overcome tough situations, and nothing else seems to work. The same applies to a mathematician or a surgeon. So let us see now, in the most condensed form, some major characteristics of experts and expertise. Our first set of characteristics refers to how experts process stimuli and comes from Hill & Schneider's 2006 study. So, 1. Learning is localized and very specialized. So it's not a universal phenomenon that can be generalized to everything. I learned this so I can learn other things more easily or automatically, or I can know other things. This was the case with Latin some centuries ago, where they thought that if someone excelled in Latin, he could, of course, excel in mathematics and anything else, but learning is localized and very specialized. 2. Learning and processing occur in the same cortical locations of our brain, of course. 3. Learning can produce both increases and decreases in the areas of activation. So it's not so straightforward to measure learning as our brain works. It's a multi-level and complex activity of the brain. 4. In some tasks, there is a reorganization of the task that involves different brain regions when alternate strategies are used. 5. Behaviorally relevant objects and other stimuli are uniquely processed by experts. Therefore, experts not only know more, but they know it differently. 6. Learning can produce detectable morphological changes in the brain. So be aware who is a teacher. He acts like a neurosurgeon. It's not something to be taken lightly. Teaching literally changes the brain like a surgeon does. Towards the presentation of generalizable characteristics of expertise is the effort of Feldovich and al. 2006. In an article about studies of expertise from psychological perspectives, they discuss a series of 9 characteristics. Expertise is limited in its scope and elite performance does not transfer. I cannot be good at tennis and for this reason be good at skiing or even table tennis. Some skills are transferable to a point, but I cannot transfer expertise as a whole. So being an expert in tennis doesn't make me an expert in table tennis. Maybe I can play a bit easier, but that's all. 2. Knowledge and content matter are important to expertise. 3. Expertise involves larger and more integrated cognitive units. And 3b, expertise involves the acquisition of a large vocabulary of words. 4. Expertise involves functional, abstracted representations of presented information. 5. Expertise involves automated basic strokes. So it likes their chunks or modules that they are automated. So when an expert commences the application of his expertise, what he does is not that he or she recreates everything from zero, but they, for example, apply ready-made modules. So, for example, if one is driving, we have the module of turning, for example, maybe, okay, or the module of decelerating, which consists of separate movements. So, for example, decelerating is I have to gear down, press the brake, and make corrections with the steering wheel, and all of these are like one module. 6. Expertise involves selective access of relevant information. So experts are like more adept in identifying in their own brains which information is more relevant and access them directly, not having to go through other irrelevant stuff. 7. Expertise involves reflection, the ability to think about my thoughts and feel about my feelings. 8. Expertise is an adaptation, so it needs training. 9. Simple experience is not sufficient for the development of expertise. Yes, experiential experts are important, but there is a reason they are not contributory experts. Okay, and if I just speak my mother language, of course I can express myself very good, but I'm not an expert linguist, for example, or maybe even an orator. Okay, I just speak. Now, in the publication How People Learn, Brain, Mind, Experience and School, 2004, the USA National Research Council considers several key principles of experts' knowledge and their potential implications for learning and instruction. So, 6 points here. 1. Experts notice features and meaningful patterns of information that are not noticed by novices. 2. Experts have acquired a great deal of content knowledge that is organized in ways that reflect a deep understanding of their subject matter. 3. Experts' knowledge cannot be reduced to sets of isolated facts or propositions, but instead reflects contexts of applicability. That is, the knowledge is conditionalized on a set of circumstances. Hence, the adaptability of experts. They are not good at singing only in their bath. Okay, they can do it in front of an audience, for example, or in front of different orchestras and with different instruments, and so on and so forth. 4. Experts are able to flexibly retrieve important aspects of their knowledge with little attentional effort. 5. Though experts know their disciplines thoroughly, this does not guarantee that they are able to teach others. It's a different thing to be an expert tennis player and a different thing to be an expert teacher in, example, tennis playing. 6. Experts have varying levels of flexibility in their approach to new situations. From what we have discussed until now, it appears that in relation to experts, one can summarize the findings of scientific literature as follows. 9 points. 1. Experts know more and they know this stuff differently than non-experts. 2. Expertise, science, concerns itself with the specialized behavior an expert is able to demonstrate. 3. Experts with increased creativity perform generally better, and complementary broad influences are beneficial for experts. 4. No single ability or intelligence type is more important for an expert. They need a mixture. 5. Experts are characterized by extensive memory skills relevant to their domain. So maybe an expert in mathematics is able to learn by heart many equations and things that have to do with numbers, but that doesn't generalize, for example, to history. They can't remember historical facts equally easily. 6. Experts have the capacity to take automated decisions that may seem counterintuitive to the non-expert, but nevertheless are appropriate. 7. Experts are intuitive and resourceful. 8. Experts have a growth mindset that is competitiveness oriented. They like competition. When they play, for example, they don't play to not lose, they play to win. 9. Experts are indirectly defined through the criteria and needs society has. Never forget that expertise is a social construct as well. And I leave you with something a very famous expert once said: I now wish you a good night, shed your bed with all your might. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.